So guys, we've just got to play the waiting game now and wait for the elders to show up. I'm sure that beacon will have been seen from miles around.
Hey, here comes the elder.
Voglio amar blastarain Frodus foot.
Gwenin in enough, tango huevos hartos.
Hirnin yudolen iro. Anirak niulu guandad iguaitharin.
Hano guand numeni I falafel.
And you think you can make this right after all the damage you caused?
I just beg you to give me a chance. I know I can fix things.
Is it weird how we elves start speaking Elven and then swap to English all of a sudden?
Totally.
Then, if you insist, take this pure water from the springs of Mathomethili. Plant the sapling at the center of the great tree's remains and pour the water over it. Only then will the tree be rebuilt.
Thank you, Elder. I will atone for my sins. Just you wait.
I hope you're right, Brodusfoot. And I'm not even gonna ask what happened to your hair. Namarie.
Well, here goes nothing.
What's this? What am I? What have I become?
I'm starting to feel a loss of identity with all these transformations.
Have you seen yourself?
What are we? I feel like a tree.
Oh no, guys, I think we've become Dikus.
What's a Diku?
Basically a tree spirit. Legend has it that they build a forest at the beginning of time. You know what that means?
Yee! I know what that means. I know what that means. We get to frolic around in the nude.
What? No, you moron. This must mean that the ancient sapling has turned us into Diku spirits. That means that we have to rebuild the tree ourselves.
Alrighty then, let's do this.
So this is the remains of the old tree, the burnt down tree. We're just gonna build on top of it, use it as a blueprint, and this is gonna be the width. This is the trunk basically. We're gonna try and do it as high and as epic as we can. Let's see how that turns out. We have started the base. We've built up straight for now. But what we wanted to do, give the tree a little sway, a little, so that it's not that rigid. So we've started trying to add a curve to it, and we'll build round following this pattern of the curve and this little hump here, and let's see how that ends up looking. We're continuing with the buck. We're gonna do the upper part of the buck now, which is another curve, the trunk, sorry. Another curve in the opposite direction from the first curve we did here. Now, it looks better from far away, as always. These things look better from far away. Ignore the straight bottom part, because we need to add some roots there eventually. And yeah, it looks better from certain angles, but I suppose a tree looks different from every angle in real life, so that's what we're going for. Not symmetry, we're going for randomness and naturalness.
And now I'm working on a branch that's going to branch out from the main tree. This is going to be smaller than the rest of the trunk, and as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see it clearly at the moment. If you get a bird's eye view from there, Rastro.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's poking outwards in a diagonal fashion, so it will branch out from the tree. Hence it being a branch. So I'm doing this in case you can't see clearly what I'm doing exactly. I'm placing one diagonal block because of the new system, the new log system in Minecraft. So I place a diagonal block there, like this, and then I place one on top. You don't have to worry too much about it being symmetrical or how many. You don't necessarily have to put one on top as I'm doing here. You can go off and do two like this. Doesn't really matter because that will add to the overall effect, the overall natural effect. So yeah, just carry on placing one block on top of the other and make it go upwards.
So we have what we call the trunk of the tree, more or less. There's some trunk that will go behind the actual leaves, but we'll build that as we go further up. But we want to start building one of the branches. Right now it looks a bit unstable, but as I said before, once we do the roots and all that, which we will eventually, it will look better from the bottom.
Yeah, right now it just looks like a brown earthworm sticking out of the ground.
Yeah.
But once we add the base, which is the roots, it will look a lot more stabilized, a lot more tree-like.
But you can see the scale, it's massive. Can't see the tower now, but I think it's in that direction.
Look at it. Are you looking at it from the ground?
No, not right now. But you see beside the tower, it's massive.
It's quite impressive from the ground.
Yeah, it's a towering, hulking god tree. So when we build the leaves, when we actually make the leaves, that will look much more impressive. It might cover the sun and everything.
Probably. This part down here will be very dark.
Yep.
So now here we're going to do what is known as a branch. It's one of the bigger branches, not the small finger branches. I'd like to call this an arm branch. And we've decided to change the direction of the wood to outward, because if you look at nature, then when the branch starts going and pointing out in a direction, the grain of the bark would follow in that direction as well, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're also gonna make it slightly sag downwards. If you look here, as you can see, the part I'm doing now, it's sagging downwards. That will also give it a sort of look of gravity. You know, the branch wouldn't just jut straight out. It would either go upwards or it would slightly sag downwards if the branch is very long. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So we'll build the branch out and we'll get back to you once that is done.
We've decided to actually make the branch bigger, because when we saw it from further away, we noticed it looked too puny compared to the rest of the trunk. So now you can see, on comparison to the actual trunk, it looks more in proportion. Still going to follow the same principle where it sags. So let's see how that turns out. So after some trial and error, we've come up with this branch over here. It starts off thicker at the end and gradually gets smaller and has a little bit of a up and down effect to it.
Sag.
Sag, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously you have to, when you're building, you have to think about how things grow. The gravity would be pulling the tree down, and so it would start going down gradually. But trees tend to reach towards the sun, because they pick up the light with the leaves. So it's like photosynthesis. That's what it's called. So obviously it would start going down and then up again, and that's why you get that sort of droop and then perk. Did I explain that properly?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we also added some smaller branches at the end of the big branch, jutting out at different angles. We might add more once we add leaves. We have to add leaves to this. And we left some places uncovered with holes in them on purpose to make it look like, you know, wood with holes, pretty much.
More organic.
Yeah. So if you look at it from the bottom, you can see it's starting to look like a tree now.
Got quite a nice view of it from the tower so far. I don't know how that's going to change when we start adding other branches and leaves and stuff, but it looks quite nice from here so far. You can see the treeness in it already. Obviously it's lacking roots, which will add a lot to it, but we'll have to do that next week now.
Yeah, and obviously the top of it, the actual leaves.
Yeah, the leaves at the top. There needs to be more branches at the top as well. The tree's going to be even higher. It's going to go, if you look up to that block up there, like the cross thing, that's as high as it's going to go, I think.
I think it'll actually go higher than that.
Yeah, the tree anyway, the wood.
All right.
Then there'll be grass and smaller branches. I don't know, but yeah, it's starting to shape up.
So if you like it, please like, subscribe, and follow us and all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
En la entrada de la torre. ¿No ves?
Estoy curioso.
Curioso, ¿no? Y pescando para arriba.